Let's do a mid-month check-in. We are officially over halfway through November. Time goes so fast yet so slow when you're trying to pay off your house. One thing that anybody knows who's trying to accomplish any type of goal is that sometimes it can be a lot of trial and error, and we are experiencing that a little bit this month. It was over a year ago when I stopped doing overtime at my job due to mental health reasons and just severe burnout. Did not need to be there any more than I already am, and now I feel like 40 hours a week is pushing it. So my goal, as I've talked about before, is to work part-time for the unforeseeable future, hopefully forever, a month before we pay off this house. So payoff is in July, and I would like to be officially part-time by July 1st. As you guys know, this is a 3-paycheck month, so we just got paid again on Friday and our balance updated. This is officially where we are as of today, which is crazy. A lot of people look at a $40,000 balance and think we have so long to go, but for us, we are on track to have it paid off very, very soon. The tough part about this month has been that typically a 3-paycheck month is where we play catch up, put a little bit more towards our sinking funds, towards savings, but because of outstanding medical bills, this month is going to be just as tight as any other month. So we'll talk a little bit more later when we're looking at our budget as far as what those medical bills look like and how we decided to go ahead and move forward with them. One thing that did happen this week, because you guys know I like living my boring, simple little life, and when things pop up, it's really annoying. So in May, I got a PO box for the purpose of my online presents to give out whenever someone needed to send me something, whether it's a brand or when my followers want to send me something, etc. It's not something I've ever given out publicly. I've always just given it to someone in a DM. So I knew I had paid for 6 months back in May, so November would be the month that it's time to renew again. I logged in on Monday the 11th to see, okay, when is that payment due and how much? Because if you guys saw my November budget video, you know I actually didn't put it in this budget and I kind of a little bit forgot about it, but I remembered that it was due. So I logged in to see how much it was and it said that it was closed. I'm like, okay, that's very weird. It's like I missed a payment. I looked in my email that I got when I set it up and for sure it wasn't due until November 30th. So that was very weird, but it was also Veterans Day, so I could not get any answers regarding it. So I had to wait until Tuesday, which honestly, if you're anxious like me, that was not fun to wait and try to think how or what happened to this thing. Anyway, I called them on Tuesday the 12th. They ultimately told me someone printed forms online to cancel this PO box. They came in, brought their ID, brought the form, closed the PO box. I'm like, okay, that's literally fraud. What do you mean someone did that? And you gave him the refund? Because actually it was August 27th when this PO box was closed. I'm like, that's literally not me. That's fraud. And I don't play around like that. I literally am a fraud investigator as a profession. As soon as I got off work, which is again is another thing about working 40 hours a week, when something needs to be done and handled, you have to wait until you get off work to handle that. So I stayed at work until 4:30, obviously. And then I immediately hopped in the car, which was also annoying because now that daylight savings time has come, it gets dark almost right after I clock out of work. Anyway, drove to the police station. Ultimately, they told me I had to go to a different police station to get it filed. So luckily they said that, because when I went to the post office right after that, they were like, actually, now we see that actually it was us who made this mistake. Someone canceled their PO box online and we've canceled yours instead of theirs. The numbers got transposed or whatever. We transposed the numbers. So it was also annoying because I was getting gaslit a lot. When I was on the phone with the postmaster, she was gaslighting me. This has never happened before. We need to make sure you are who you say you are. You need to come in with your ID. I'm a victim. And then when I got there and I was talking to the normal post office employee, she was telling me what was going on. She was nice. Actually, I'm gonna put the footage in here.
So my boss briefly told me what was going on before she left, but from what I understood from what she was telling me is that somebody, I think what happened is they canceled they was trying to cancel their box and they canceled your box if they were one number off, but it was all done online. So they did it themselves. But this person.
But I guess how does it just how did my box get
so I don't know if her box was or something and she accidentally said So basically, we refunded her the money that should have been to you. So we're just gonna issue you that refund that we initially issued to her.
Yeah, it's really crazy because like when I was talking to her, she's like, well, I don't know who you are. She was just acting like I was lying, and it was just really crazy. Like I wasn't, like, based off what you're telling me, I'm the victim of fraud. And she was acting like, well, you need to come in and show your ID. I need to match your signature.
She wanted to make sure that you weren't just trying to, that it wasn't like, she wanted to make sure the ID didn't match this name. Because
I gave her my name, I gave her the box, I gave her everything. And she never even called me back to say like, oh, actually this was a mistake. I mean, I know that she's your...
We wouldn't know it was a mistake until you came in and showed us your ID, because...
That doesn't make any sense. If I have a P.O. box under my name, and you see this name, how do you not know that it's a mistake? Like, that's not my name.
Yeah, but we didn't see your ID until just now to know if it was your name or not.
So you guys don't keep records of people who have P.O. boxes?
I don't. I'm sure they do, but this was done by them themselves. Like, they did. They closed their own box. They put the wrong box number in. Is what I'm assuming.
Right, but I'm saying like.
But it was also done back in August, so we can't really be sure. It's been like 5 months.
I don't believe that. I don't. If someone comes in and say I want to close my P.O. box and they say this is the box, how do you not check to see?
She didn't come in. Nobody came in.
Well, they told me someone did come in. They said they printed the forms online, came in person, showed their ID, everything.
This was all done online.
Well, I'm hearing two different things. You're telling me one thing, the postmaster told me another. Like, it's just like, why would somebody not call? Like, I went to the police department before this for nothing. No.
Sorry.
I literally told her on the phone, I'm going to the police. That's literally a crime. And she'd never call me back to say, whoops, just kidding. It was a mistake. And then after, like, a different manager comes out of nowhere. How are you just now noticing this? Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. You also think that this looks weird, right? I'm like, no, not at all. I get the emails for informed delivery. Anyone who has that set up where USPS can send you an email of what mail you're getting for the day, it's a very handy tool. I use it. If I am getting mail, I come and check it. If I am not expecting mail, I don't check it. And it's funny because I actually gave someone this P.O. box like a week after they closed it. And I was always just like, okay, I guess they didn't send it. I didn't check with them to see like what happened, but I'm assuming this is associated with it in some way. I might message them again just to say, hey, like, I don't know if you sent it, but this is what happened. Anyway, they were just gaslighting me. Very disgusting. Honestly, a complete nightmare with how I was being treated by them. Both of the managers, coincidentally. The employees were fine. The managers were nasty. And so I was just very frustrated. I was honestly getting a little out of character. I didn't get loud. I wasn't yelling, but I was getting very frustrated and I was being vocal. And this is a quiet post office and I was not being quiet because not you still gaslighting me. Anyway, it comes down to, I paid like, I want to say $108 for this P.O. box for 6 months. So since they closed it, like halfway through, it was about $54 that I was due that they gave to someone else, and they need to rectify this issue, but they couldn't. This manager's like sign-on information wasn't working. He was like a newer manager, and so I ultimately could not get that refund. Another employee was like, why don't you just overnight it to her, like get this issue squared away and overnight it to her. I'm like, yeah, because this isn't my fault. So the next day, didn't hear anything. I ended up like putting like a request in on the website. I went to a different website. It's supposed to be like an escalated version of the post office. I'm trying to remember like what they're called. It's called the United States Postal Service Office of Inspector General. But unfortunately, whenever I was putting my request on there with my issue, it still put it straight towards the post office again. And it's just like annoying because apparently my issue is not big enough for them to want to have it escalated. Anyway, coincidentally, after I submitted another complaint, I got an email from that manager that was gaslighting me in person, basically saying that they're going to overnight it. Here's the tracking number. You know, we checked with that other person who it was supposed to be canceled and they confirmed whatever. Why do you need to confirm with them? It's just like, no matter what, I just feel like I was constantly being told like, we don't believe you in a roundabout way. And it's just annoying. You guys have on file who the P.O. box like belongs to. This is my P.O. box number. Look at who owns it. You can look at that up and you can see that that's not my name for whoever was trying to cancel their P.O. box. And it's just like the fact that I thought I was a victim of fraud, like so many things. It's so frustrating and so beyond me. So as of right now, I need to check the mail actually, because they said they were going to overnight it. I thought someone was going to knock on the door. Like I thought it was going to be certified mail and they didn't. So they want me to sign this form. The thing was that when I was in person, they wanted me to sign this form saying that I got the refund so they could have it filled out and send it, like get it sent to me. And I'm like, I'm not signing anything saying that I received a refund because I did not. And if that's the same form that they sent me, I'm gonna make sure that I put a note, I haven't received anything. It's been a complete nightmare. So I need to check the mail, get that sent back to them, and then I have to wait again for them to send me the refund, basically. So very frustrating, very annoying. I don't think I'm gonna get another PO box for a while. Definitely not at that post office. So anyway, let's hop into the budget. I'll stop yapping and talking y'all's ear off. It's just something that was very frustrating for me, and I'm still really upset about it, obviously. It's just something I found out this week. I haven't put all of our spending in like I usually do. I just kind of stopped on the 13th. I haven't spent like that much, since then, but I haven't put all of our charges in just yet. Also, as you guys know, if you need someplace to do your budget, this is what I do every month, every payday, whatever. It's linked in the description in my Etsy shop if you need someplace to do your budget. Now, the payday that we just had was the 15th, planned for $3,300, but it was a little bit less because my husband had taken a PTO day, so he gets shift diff, and so since he didn't get that shift diff from working, paycheck was a little bit less, not a whole lot. If I had to guess, I'm gonna go with $3,250. But if you guys know, we had scheduled like to the dollar of what we usually get, so it was a little bit off with the paychecks. Second paycheck was supposed to be this mortgage payment, $2,615 plus $700-ish. So what I decided to do was not put money towards the car insurance sinking fund, and then just put money aside for Christmas and for the HSA. As you guys know, we're contributing to the HSA for the medical bills that we've owed, just so we're still contributing and we're still getting the tax deduction that comes with contributing to the HSA, even though we're doing it after tax. How you kind of have to work things when you're on a payoff journey like this, it's super important to still schedule that payment because every payment counts. So for sure, first thing we did was schedule that $2,615. I decided that we still would contribute to the HSA because we need to do that. And then Christmas, which is the things that are just immediately due. Like Christmas is next month. Medical bills have to get paid this month. Car insurance isn't due until March. So I'm prioritizing what is upcoming at this point. Technically, we might still be able to get that car insurance money set aside in a sinking fund because as of right now, we have, let's say like $50. I was short about $50, so we have like a good $50 to put towards it. Also, that refund I'm expecting, that'll help us get to that $100. So whenever we get that, hopefully we get that, then I could do the full $100 and we could still make it work. So trial and error. Sometimes you have to make adjustments. As far as the medical bills, I really just didn't want it hanging over my head anymore. And I knew that we were going to have the money by the end of the month to get those paid. So I did go ahead and charge it to the card, like one of my cards, to get the cash back, of course. And then just to also go ahead and have that paid and not have to worry about it. We'll have the full amount by the end of the month. I specifically put it in bold just so I can say, hey, this is everything that we paid. The stuff is paid, blah, blah, blah. That was $2,200 mainly for my son. The only thing that I paid that was not for my son was, about $160. Everything else was for him and his surgery that he had back in September. We already have $540 in our HSA. And then this is the $500 that is gonna put us at $1,040. And then another $1,300 is gonna put us at $2,340, which is gonna take care of like majority, if not all of the medical expenses, thankfully. Plus the last paycheck will do that as well. And then this is the medical expenses. I kind of just highlighted everything that I had paid. Finally, we can get that out the way. I told the kids no more trips to any medical places for the rest of the year, please, I'm begging you. That's what this paycheck was looking like. I really need to update some of the other money that we have spent just on my tracker to track all of our spending. I'll probably do that later on today. Guys, as you guys know, it is a lot. Like when you are paying majority of your money towards the mortgage and you have just enough left over to do what you need to do, you feel the tightness. By the way, this doesn't include our spending money, as I always have to put that disclaimer. I don't include our spending money in any of these numbers just because for me, it's very out of sight, out of mind, since we have it go from my paycheck automatically to a separate bank accounts, which is our spending money of like bi-weekly $200. You have to have the mental toughness to keep going, guys. Like a lot of people, when they're like, wow, money is really tight, like I don't really like how this makes you feel. I feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck, even though you're not. You have so much money left over. You're doing more than you have to do. We're sending an extra of over what, $5,000 to our mortgage this month. Technically, we're not living paycheck to paycheck, but it can feel like it. So you have to keep going. You have to think in your mind, there's nothing else that money is going to. I don't have any other option but to send this money towards my goals and choose my goals every single time I get some money in my hand. How can this money get me closer to my goals? You really have to think that way, and in a way have tunnel vision. Now, don't get me wrong, because as you guys see in my videos, I still treat myself and do things that make me happy or bring me joy, like my weekly outings that I talk about, but it's not me spending like $200, $300, $400 every 2 weeks. Tropical Smoothie Cafe cost me like 15 bucks a week. And obviously we still eat out in other ways as well. We still have that money there because we're not depriving ourselves. We're just sending majority towards our goals and getting us closer to paying off this house. This is just the best way to do it for us. And then once we can pay it off, finally have all of that income to ourselves, even though my income, yes, is going to decrease, it's still going to be so much better. We're still going to have a great amount of money left. And then I'll also have more time to put towards other things, making more YouTube videos. I'm just the type that I would rather have that time to myself and not be clocking into work to make money that's like capped at a certain amount, where if I want to make money in other ways, the possibilities could be endless. So don't know what life will look like in 9 months from now after it's paid off, or a year from now once we're 3 months into being mortgage free, but I'm so ready. One thing I absolutely cannot stand though is just like consumerism, and how when you just go into a store, they're constantly pushing people and trying to encourage people to buy stuff. I went to Target yesterday to get Excedrin, like an air freshener, and what else? I think I got some cookies, and they already have the Christmas stuff out. Guys, we're 6 weeks away from Christmas, and it's just like, sure, if that actually brings you joy, decorating for Christmas, but people don't really need a bunch of Christmas stuff already. Like, it's just excessive. Be careful, guys. If you do buy from Target, remember their holiday price match guarantee. Remember to go into your orders on your Target account and make sure that those items have not gone down in price, because if they have, you can definitely get that adjustment and make them pay you back and honor their policy that they created. That's definitely what I plan to do. We haven't done any Christmas shopping yet, because why? Unless you're gonna do something like buy on Etsy, something that could take time to get to you. There's nothing wrong with planning for stuff, but I just like to do things when it's necessary to do it and not be encouraged to spend more just because it's a business. At the end of the day, they want you to spend as much as possible, and they want you to give them your money now, not later. So keep that in mind. It's all a business. Don't fall for the consumerism trap and feeling like you need to buy extra stuff or buy all this stuff. Luckily for us, like, we don't have a big family, we don't have a bunch of friends, so we really mainly buy Christmas gifts like for our kids. We don't even really do Christmas for like each other right now. It's just kind of how we've been for a long time, like ever since we started sharing money, honestly. If we want to go out and buy stuff for ourselves, sure, but we might buy for like one friend, a couple of family members, and besides that, it's really just us and our kids. Just be strategic. We've been planning for Christmas throughout the entire year. Love that. Love not having to suddenly spring and get money for Christmas, or people going into debt for Christmas. Like, it's never really worth paying off Christmas for a whole another year. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. We are just taking it day by day with this mortgage payoff journey. I just can't wait till we're done, guys. It's been tight for a minute, like I keep saying, and we could be done with this in another 8 months. It's so exciting. And I hope you subscribe if you're not subscribed, and like the video. Bye-bye.